Hello and welcome back to the Shannon Blanchard podcast. I'm your girl, Shannon, and you are in the right place, my friend. If you are looking to start and scale the business of your dreams, to say yes to the desires of your heart, and to truly create a life that feels lucky every single day. In today's episode, we are going to be chatting about some things that I wish I would have known back before I started my online business in 2021. These are key pieces of information that would have saved me time, effort, and honestly, just a lot of emotional turmoil, because that is the truth. When you are starting your business, there is just a roller coaster of emotions happening. And knowing some of this information would have really saved me some tears. So I hope that this is helpful for you if you are starting your business, or even if you're further along. Honestly, this is the kind of stuff I love hearing other people talk about, because entrepreneurship, of course, has so many universal experiences. We all experience slow seasons, things like that. But your interpretation of those experiences is unique to every single person. So I love hearing people talk about these kinds of things that they wish they knew, and just their, experience with things. So I'm excited to chat through. There are 6 things we're going to talk about today. And with all of that being said, let's dive into the first thing that I wish I knew before I'd started my online business, which is that getting clients and growing your business is not hard. And marketing is actually so simple that we feel the need to overcomplicate it. I wish I could go back and tell myself, do not waste your time looking for that secret sales strategy, the thing that somebody else has figured out that's just going to be the magic solution I need to get clients. I don't know if you relate to that, if you've ever felt that way yourself, but as somebody now who over 5 years later, I have relied on my business alone for my income. So I say that because if I've been doing this 5 years as my only source of income, what does that tell you? I'm very good at sales. And I will tell you the secret. It's so simple. Are you ready for it? Effective marketing is about understanding who you are speaking to, what it is that they need to hear from you, and then learning how to say that 100 different times in 100 different ways. That's all that effective marketing is. And I think the thing is that it's so simple and straightforward that a lot of times we go outsourcing for somebody else to tell us what to do, because we don't just want to get good at this simple skill. We don't want to just sit down and be like, okay, here's who I'm speaking to. This is one idea that I want to convey to them. Now, how can I say that 5 different ways? Because that requires really sitting down and thinking through the process. And it's something that, again, we just want a magic solution, but that doesn't exist. And the sooner that you focus on just getting really good at this skill, which you absolutely can do, the sooner you do that, the sooner you're going to be making sales in your business. And honestly, if you take nothing else from this episode today, just remember that if you focus on getting good at the basics of effective marketing, that alone can make you millions of dollars. It doesn't matter what your idea is, what it is you're trying to sell. If you understand the basics of effective marketing, you can sell anything. I look back on when I was starting my business and I had some questions about is this really realistic? Can I actually do this? Is this a legit way to, earn your own income? It seems very odd and foreign when you're just getting started in the online space. And what I know to be true now is that, of course, you can start any kind of business in the online space. If you understand marketing, that's how literally every single business gets clients. You're not doing anything out of the ordinary. So you just have to focus on getting really good at this core skill. And this is why I'm also always telling people, please, please, please do not rob yourself of the opportunity to learn how to create effective content and messaging by using AI. AI cannot replace a skill that you fundamentally have to learn. Because if you don't know how to be good at marketing, it doesn't matter what AI feeds you, you're not going to be able to tell if it's good or it's not. It's absolutely worth the effort of sitting down and thinking about the core ideas within your business that you want to communicate, and just finding different ways to say the same thing. That is something that once you build that muscle, it will always pay off in your business. You'll be so grateful you did it. So that's number 1, is that there's really no secret or magical trick to growing your business. The second thing I wish I knew before I started my business business was that not only is the online space not overcrowded, but competition is a mindset that you choose. The online space definitely seems more crowded than ever because, of course, it's becoming more popular. And so you see more and more and more people doing what you want to do. And you think, oh my gosh, there's not enough room. How can I ever do this? And I certainly felt that way at the time that I started my business. It was kind of like the virtual assistant boom. You know, there were literally hundreds of people starting their virtual assistant businesses. And so it felt like, is there really space for me to be successful? But even now, today in 2026, it is still not overcrowded. And let me tell you why. The online space is growing rapidly, which is continuing to create more opportunity. And that is not going to change. And let me read to you a line from a report that was done in 2025. This report showed that, quote, internet-related jobs are growing 12 times faster than the broader labor market. And since 2020, the digital economy has expanded at 19% annually, while the total US economy grew at just 7%. You guys, that's insane. There is more and more and more. The more people who work online, the more opportunity there is for online service providers of all kinds. So the sooner that you learn how to market your skills online, the better off you are, no matter what happens in the world. And it's interesting because in the world of entrepreneurship, a lot of times you hear people talking about how risky it is, and you never know where your next paycheck is coming from. It's not reliable, all of these things. I personally could not disagree more. I never have to worry about getting fired, about getting laid off, about job cuts. I never have to worry because I have the skills to market myself online and make money for myself. I have the skills at this point to start virtually any kind of business I would want. I know that I could figure out how to do it and make money for myself. And that's part of why I'm so hellbent and passionate about more and more women learning how to monetize their skills online, because I genuinely think if you know how to market yourself in the online space, what is more future-proof than that? So not only is the online space continuing to grow and grow, which is just creating more opportunity, but also, like I said, competition really is just a mindset that you choose. You know, back early on in my business, I remember when I started to kind of recognize this for myself, and I would get on discovery calls, and the potential clients I was talking to would say that they were talking to several other virtual assistants to kind of find the right fit and who is best for them. And I used to be so happy when they would say that. Like, that made me so glad when they told me that they're talking to other people, because I want you to know that we're the right fit for each other, because either we are or we aren't. And it doesn't matter how many people you talk to. You could talk to 100 other people doing the same thing as me. If we are the right fit, we're always going to happen. And if we're not the right fit, it would never work out. So I just had that mindset, because the truth is that, as I've talked about before, nobody else has your unique combination of who you are, your personality, what you bring to the table, along with the ideal client that you are serving, their unique pain points, their unique desires, and your perspective and how you fit into their world. Nobody else has that exact unique combination of things. So when you know your power and the energy that you bring to the table, you don't have to worry about there being competition. There is enough space for everybody to be in their own lane. Now, here's the third thing I needed to hear before starting my business, which is that you are going to make changes along the way in your business, and you do not have to feel the pressure to start over every single time. As you get started and you are taking action in your business, there are going to be things naturally that you're just like, you know what, this actually doesn't feel right anymore. This doesn't feel aligned, because taking that action along the way creates further clarity for you. So maybe it's things with your service suite, your offer structure, your niche, any of those things. You should absolutely feel free to explore different options, to try new things, play around with your business. You never have that, beginning stage of your business again. So it's the perfect time to just play and have fun, and don't feel pressure to announce it to everybody in the world, right? Like, if you want to update your website copy, if you want to make an update post, you can do those things, but don't feel the pressure to do it or let it become a roadblock for you that you feel like you have to announce this thing and it feels like a lot of pressure. And so you never just move forward and take the action you need to take. I remember really early on in my business, I think I was just a couple weeks into launching, and I decided I wanted to try working in the fashion industry as my niche. So I switched everything over. I did it literally for a week just to turn back around and be like, actually, you know what? I think I want to stick with the brand and web designers, because trying the new niche allowed me to have the clarity of what felt right and what felt wrong for me. So this is your permission slip to play with your business, just have fun with it, and do not labor over inconsequential decisions. Just make the decision and then make it good. Just move forward, constantly take action. Don't let yourself get stuck and caught up with things that honestly don't matter, because even though it can feel like a big deal to make any kind of changes to your business, it's like nobody's really paying that much attention to you, to be honest. It's not a big deal. You can make the updates, just try new things, go out there and play and have fun with your business. I think now is a good time to discuss money and expectations around revenue, because I don't know if any of you are nearly as delusional as I certainly was when I started my business, but I thought for sure that I was going to be hitting 10K months within just a couple months of starting my business. And for me, it wasn't even a matter of like, oh, I believe in myself so much, I believe it's possible. It was legitimately just all I saw. I only saw other people who were hitting super high revenue months really, really quickly. So I legitimately just believed like that's what happens. You start a business and you make $10,000 a month. Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, of course, time starts to pass and I'm thinking, okay, I'm just about there. I'm just about there. It's gonna break through any moment. And eventually you're like, okay, it's not happening. I'm actually not just on the verge of hitting a 10K month. And bear with me because this might sound kind of depressing, but this is what I wish I had understood at that time, is that when you release the insistence that your business be something other than what it is in this moment, you find the freedom to just enjoy the journey for what it is, because your business really is your baby. It's an extension of you. And so it's important to stop looking at it as this servant that is meant to cater to your every desire and it needs to be everything you want it to be. But it's important to look at it as this extension of you that is trying to support you, and really just being grateful for that and being grounded in where it is in this moment. And I'll get consult calls sometimes for my program Lucky Day, where we just get on these free calls and we talk through any questions that people have about the program or working together, starting their business. And on those calls, I always ask about what their short-term and their long-term goals are in their business. And every once in a while, I will get somebody who legitimately tells me that they want to be making $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month within the next 60 to 90 days. And I'm always really honest with them. If you are looking for your business to be this Band-Aid in your life, to be this magical solution to just solve all of your financial issues immediately, you're going to be disappointed. And this, again, is not to say that we need to minimize our dreams or be hyper realistic. I am not that person at all, girlfriend. But I think it's so important to have those big dreams and goals, but also just release the timeline. Let it go and appreciate your business for what it is now. Let those goals happen and find you when the time is right. And in the meantime, find ways to just truly appreciate and love your business. Okay, cruising on to number 5. The 5th thing that I wish I knew before starting my business was that passion trumps skill every single time. Especially if you are somebody who feels like, I don't really have extraordinary skills. You guys already know I have an episode, if you haven't listened to it, about my journey as an entrepreneur. I knew nothing about entrepreneurship. I was a barista. I had no, marketable skills, nothing like that. And that can feel really intimidating when you're getting started and you're like, oh, well, these people are experts in this and they know how to do that. And I don't feel like I have anything unique to offer. But you have to remember that passion is what people want to see. If If you are genuinely happy and excited and thrilled about what you are doing, other people start to take interest in that. They're like, oh, what are you doing? Like, you believe in it so much that you are so excited about it. And that's why I think it's so important from the moment that you start your business that you are intentional with every single little decision along the way, with your services, with your niche, with everything. You are constantly assessing, am I excited about this? Does this actually light me up? Do I want to do this? Because if the passion for it isn't there, it's going to be really hard to market your business because you're not excited about it, right? So focus, be intentional, and give yourself the freedom to pursue the things that you love and that light you up. Those are going to be the things that are effortless to sell because you're just truly so excited about it. That's how I feel with my program, Lucky Day. Like, selling that program is so easy for me. I never even feel like I'm really having to sell it because I genuinely just love it. I love the program and I want you to start the business that changes your life. So it's just easy for me to be like, you should be in this program. Like, you should do this. And I'm going to work with you to make it happen. That's what you want, is something that you're so excited about that the passion just comes through. And I will also say, if you are, getting started in the online space, like, let your passion like freak flag fly. Like, honestly, so many people are afraid of, how can I show up very professional, and what is the right way to show up as a virtual assistant, the right way to show up as a Pinterest manager? Like, how do I fit within the box that people expect me to be in? That's not going to help you. Let your passion show. Show people that you're excited, that you genuinely want to help them. Like, it is so magnetic when you are just showing up in your passion and excitement, because honestly, not that many people do it. So when you show up that way, people notice and they're like, what do you got going on? I want a little bit of what you've got going on. And the final thing that I wish I knew before I started my business is consistency is king. The people who are consistent are the people who win every single time. It doesn't matter if you've got the best offer, if you are fantastic at marketing, if you have the best skills, none of that matters if you're not going to show up consistently. And so even if you have been trying on and off for 6, 12, 18 months, years, I don't care how long you've been trying on and off, today is the perfect day to just say, you know what, I'm going to commit to being consistent, because I know that even if I show up imperfectly, even if I make mistakes, I will win by being consistent. Even now in my business, sometimes I'll have these stages where I just start to feel really hazy and I'm like, what am I doing? What is happening? Like, I've just been so busy doing that now, like, I'm here in this moment and what is going on? And I just need to sort of refocus. And the way that I do that every single time is I come back to the basics of, okay, where am I trying to go? Like, what is the goal? And what are the needle moving actions that I need to take to make that happen? And then be consistent with it. Like, it's so simple. And if you need help figuring out what your needle moving actions are, I recommend checking out my episode that I did called Doing It in the Dark and how to keep building your business even when you feel like you're not progressing. Because in that episode, I talk about how to define your needle moving actions and all of those things. But this is the message I'm coming back to, of just like knowing what you need to do, your non-negotiables within your business, and just being consistent with them. It is so boring. Day to day, you feel like nothing is happening. In fact, you might even feel like things are getting worse. You just have to stick with it. As you guys know, I've talked about April is a visibility sprint month for me. So what that means is I'm doing a ton, max effort, showing up to create visibility. I am putting out content and marketing my business at a rate that is unsustainable for me long term. I am intentionally doing this level of marketing for a month, and then I'm going to ramp back down to my typical sustainable level. But anytime I do these sprints, I know what's going to happen is the first few days, it feels so good. You're like, oh, I'm posting every single day. I'm doing these things. I'm being consistent. It feels great. And you're seeing the results already. You're like, oh, my engagement is increasing. I'm getting comments like, oh my God, I'm popular. It feels great. And then inevitably what happens is like a week in or something, it will start to happen where your engagement dips down because the algorithm is adjusting to your new level of output. I find this, you guys, to be true for every single platform. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, they all do this to me, where it's like I ramp up my effort, my engagement drops down for a little bit because everything is like readjusting, and then it goes back up, and ultimately it all works. That's the whole point of doing this, right? But there will be times when you are just consistent with the things that you need to do, that you feel like this is not working and it's actually just getting worse and everything is failing. Stick with the program. Just stick with it, be consistent, and you will get the results you want. And speaking of being consistent, might I just say, it is so helpful to have a mentor who is there beside you to help hold you accountable and support you, especially in the early stages of growing your business. I have worked with a mentor many different times throughout my business. They are the biggest up level to get you to your next level of business. If you are interested in working together and starting your business from the ground up, please check out my program, Lucky Day. You can still join the waitlist right now. We are going to be launching my second to last round of the year on May 4th. So you still have a little bit of time to get on the waitlist, and you will get first access to enrollment as well as waitlist exclusive discounts. I will have the link for you to join in the show notes below. I'd love to work with you and support you. And this is everything I have for you today. I hope that this was insightful to hear some things that I wish I knew 5 years ago, little old me when I was 24 starting my business, and things I wish I knew. I would be so appreciative if you'd be willing to rate and share the show, follow. It means so much to me as I'm getting the show off the ground. I will see you in my next episode. You guys, we're actually going to be starting a series. I'm so excited. It's all about sustainability. So I'm going to be chatting through the key things that you need to create sustainability in your business. We're going to talk about marketing, income, all the things. It's going to be fantastic. So I will see you there in my next episode, and thanks for being here. Bye.